didn't realize I spent that much time browsing through something. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the stream. Thank you so much for joining, and please sit back, relax, and enjoy your stay. So, this will be a fairly short stream. I'm gonna talk about a few things and, just let you guys know what's been going on, what I'll be doing, and, just generally what the plans are. I completely forgot to close my door. I don't know if you can hear my cat meowing. Anyways. Give me a moment. Let me just close that. Okay, so, what's been happening? First, I guess the first bit would be, to do with my mental faculties, I guess. I don't know, just recently I've been kind of generally, like before even all these things that happened recently that made me take a break, my mental faculties have been a bit weird or off. I'm not as responsive, I'm kind of moody sometimes. Also, I feel like sometimes I'm just like not as, I don't know, just like my motor functions sometimes feel a little off. That's why I haven't been streaming as much recently. Most of what I've been streaming recently has been with friends and whatnot. Like, that's been helpful, you know, having friends that I can stream with. I mean, on top of that, I guess work has also been very stressful. Like, don't get me wrong. It pays well enough that I don't, at the very least, I can stand not to complain too much about it. But the place I work at is not exactly the best place to work at. In that, well, to give you guys an example of something that happened a week ago. Like that week, the week prior to me deciding to take a break, like I was already having a pretty bad time, you know? There were a lot of stuff going on, and all of a sudden, there was a triple whammy in just the one day. So, there was the whole me having to tell my work about my father thing, right, a day right after I took a day off for reasons. For those of you who are, long time channel viewers, you might still remember when I talked about my father and how I tried to give him a second chance. Yeah, that thing kind of fell apart real quickly. I mean, not as quick as I thought it would, but let's just say I gave him several chances and he's broken each and every one of my conditions. So, you know, obviously he hasn't changed. He actually messaged me that very same week on the weekend. Yeah, he was basically trying to buy me by saying, "Oh, can't, let's talk if you want to, if you want help buying a house. You don't have to be nice to me or anything, or like greet me or anything if you're still not ready yet." And I'm just sitting here thinking, yeah, this is one of your classic strategies to get me to feel bad for you. I'm not falling for it. I already told you before that I'm not gonna take anything from you. Anyways, yeah. And that brings up something that I've been wanting to talk about that I never really got a chance to. There's a distinction between somebody who's trying to change to pacify somebody and somebody who's trying to change to actually change, to better themselves. And my father very clearly falls into the former, where he will only change in order to pacify somebody, in order to get his way. And that's not really actually changing. And that's something that people need to learn the distinction between. Whether or not you're just trying to pacify somebody or you actually genuinely believe you need to change and you need to grow. I've been trying to change myself. It's why my content, it's also part of why my content's been all over the place. I'm still not quite sure who or what I want to be, but I am trying my best to at least be somebody who's respectable, in a way, at the very least. And also, part of it is that, right, going back to the triple whammy that I had on that one day. So there was that already. And then the second bit, going back into why my work's been so stressful. Just to give you an idea, on that one day, we had to pull out 4,000 plus units from orders that were already, from orders that were already completed because somebody in production screwed up. And because apparently nobody in production cares anymore. And we basically had to pull out a specific item to make sure all of them were okay before sending back out. We had to pull them back out, all 4,000 units that were strewn about in different pallets, already wrapped up, already, stacked a certain way. And we had to put them back the exact same way. That was fun. And right after we finished doing that on that day, I went to go on my break, and all of a sudden, content warning / trigger warning for the next bit. Let me just add a little text thingy here. Here we go. U/VW. Here we go. Just how do I? Okay, there we go. Why is it so damn big? I'll go with. Okay. So, one of the other things that really got to me that time, and why, one of my friends that day messaged me and told me that they actually, wanted to look for a place to 86 themselves. And, I try my best to be supportive and whatnot. And, I just talked to them for a while. It's actually really hard going through the rest of the workday because I was basically just, forcing myself to continue to work, even though there was a massive drag and resistance to my every movement at that point. Because, well, what do you do when somebody who's out of your reach is doing that? And, the next day after that, they actually tried to go through with it. They swallowed a bunch of pills, and, they said their goodbyes to me, and I was just talking to my friends at the time, and unfortunately, they eventually stopped responding. I sang them a little lullaby, try and help. It was overall a bad time, and for 2 days straight, I thought they were dead. But thankfully, they are alive and well. Just narrowly avoided. They just narrowly avoided being. They had narrowly avoided becoming a permanent care patient because apparently they ended up vomiting just enough of the pills they swallowed that it didn't happen. And the doctors were able to get to them on time. Thankfully. But, yeah. anyways, we won't linger on that topic for too much. It's just, you know, obviously they were a very important person to me. They've been with me since before I started VTubing. Uh, and yeah, I, you know, just like I did end up finding out before my break that they did survive, but at that point, I'd already been so drained with everything, so I just kind of sort of didn't decided to continue with the break anyways, which was a good thing because during that break, which didn't feel like a break at all because of this, I can remove that now. I ended up working so much overtime. Like 12 hours a day, basically. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm loaded now, but like, oh my god, the amount of overtime I did. Holy crap. I don't know how I survived all that. By the 4th day, I was asking him, hey, sir, I'm glad to do a bit more overtime, but can it be not 12 hours, please? He was like, yeah, that's fine, you know. I know you've been working hard, thank you. I was just like, thank you, sir. I am so exhausted. But yeah, I barely got any break. And, you know, then during the weekend, I ended up getting messaged by my father again, who, once again, not a great guy. It's been quite a trip. I'm sure I had more reasons why I was feeling sad. But for the life of me, I've just been trying to forget all about most of the ones before that specific week. Oh, but also one of my coworkers got fired during then because they may have been a little bit too aggressive in their approach of saying that they didn't appreciate not being able to understand what everybody else was saying, because like 70% of the about 80% of the people who I work with on my specific department can speak Tamil, and that is their mother tongue. They are quite used to it. Their English kind of basic. Some of them can't even form proper sentences at all. So a lot of them just speak in their native tongue. Australia is a multicultural not company, cultural country, and you know, case by case basis. Technically speaking, in a 100% professional work environment, according to my boss, like you would probably be required to speak in English so that everybody can understand at all times. But for starters, I don't want it to be that stuffy to begin with, so I'm perfectly fine with it. But also, the way he said it. I know he's not exactly fluent in English, but the way he said what he said was a little bit accusatory, and also did not explain a lot of why it was bad for him, and only made it sound like he was kind of a little bit teeny bit racist. And I know he's Hispanic, and his national language, like his first language, also isn't English either, and but oh my god, like my boss, who also speaks Tamil, he you know he was arguing with him. It's like he all of a sudden came to me and was like, do you have any problem with it? And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna try. I already know that guy's probably on thin ice, if not already fired. So I'm gonna try and at least soften it a little for him. And I told the boss, the only problem I have with it is when we're in the middle of work discussing something, and then all of a sudden they switch to Tamil between themselves, and I'm just stuck there uh, waiting until they finish their conversation before I figure out what's going on. And, you know, everybody agreed with that. That is, in fact, disrespectful. According to them. I personally don't actually care. I just said that because I didn't want that guy to be seen as bad. And he did thank me for quote unquote standing up for him a little there, or defending him is what he's thanked me for. But yeah, that was still not enough to help the guy out. Oh boy, that is a cultural difference if I've ever seen one. Yeah. But, you know, I was also a little bit worried in a sense that I did sort of kind of try and help him, so I didn't know if anybody was gonna have bad blood over that or anything. Doesn't seem like it though. But, you know, still kind of worrisome in a way. But to give you an idea of how exhausted I have been recently, just today's the first day in a long time, I have slept through all of my alarms. I slept through all of my alarms today. I woke up at like 6:40, 6:50, maybe 7. I don't remember. And the reason I woke up was because I opened my eyes, and then I was like, why is it bright? Why is the sun up? What time is it? And it turns out I was about like 50 minutes late already. Called my boss. I was like, oh my god, boss, I'm so sorry. I slept through all my alarms. I didn't, like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. I'll be there shortly. I was like, yeah, no worries. It happens sometimes. You know, my boss is pretty chill. His boss, on the other hand, is not. But we won't get into that. We'll be here all day. But yeah, that's been a bit, that's been pretty much how work is. Like, take the good with the bad. It's a very casual place. Sometimes it can get a bit annoying when they're too casual about things. But, well, it also affords you a lot of liberties. So there's that, you know. Good with the bad. Balance. Yeah. That's pretty much it for the, depressing parts. Yeah, yeah, just what I've mentioned, I guess. Apart from that, I guess there's also been a lot of, I don't know, there's been a lot of pondering on my end. It's mostly just me overthinking things based on current events and latter events and whatnot. I will try my best to get back onto things properly starting this week, because quite frankly, if these 2 weeks have taught me anything, it's that even if I take breaks from streaming, my mental health will be affected one way or another. So I might as well just dive headlong into things and, you know, just dive headlong into things until I experience a proper burnout. And then I'll take a break. Because preempting myself like that, honestly, the not streaming thing, I mean, feels like I should have been streaming instead. Because I honestly just, I don't know, it feels like even if I take a break from streaming to recover my mental health, one way or another something's going to happen at this point, and I'm just going to be drained anyways, in one way or another. So I might as well just commit, you know? Yeah, it's also a great way to distract ourselves sometimes, the streaming bit. Now, before we get into what's coming up, I would like to mention something fun that I found out recently about my family. So a few weeks ago, I was talking with my mother about our family history, and it turns out that my great grandfather on my mother's side. Okay. So it turns out my great grandfather on my mother's side used to be And I'm not sure if I should be saying this or not, so if I disappear at any point in time without saying anything to anybody, you know what's happened. But my great-grandfather on my mother's side used to be, before running away to the Philippines, used to be an anti-communist, uh, uh an anti-communist rebel army leader. Or like commander or something. Uh, they were part of a rebel army, an anti-communist rebel army in China. And at one point or another, the details were a bit obscured because obviously they didn't talk about it very openly. Apparently they ended up having to run away to the Philippines via boat. And they were taken in by a certain family. And I now know what my actual Chinese family name is now. For those of you who don't know, I'm half Filipino, half Chinese. And I hid the Chinese part for the most part because I didn't really like what, you know, I didn't really like what, China done on certain things. Like, you know, just specifically the government in general. What with all the banning, any sort of media that portrayed China in a non-favorable light, or, you know, those types of things. Yeah, there's a whole lot to unpack there. But apparently, I am related only by, with only 2 or 3 generations. Only 2 or 3 generations coming on. I am apparently related to an anti-communist rebel commander. So that's fun. My mother apparently recently learned that from her cousin, who was also part of the, who was also, direct descendant of the people who actually came to the Philippines, was under a specific name. Yeah, unfortunately, before we could get any other details, they recently apparently passed away. So, unfortunately, that part of my history will probably not be brought up any more than that. I won't know who exactly it is or what. But, yeah. Apparently, rebellion, Rebellion runs in my blood. Yeah, so that was a fun little thing. I didn't know about that before. And yeah. So now I can finally embrace that half of me. Yeah. So that's an interesting thing. Anyways, just a little factoid to brighten the mood a little bit before going into what's coming up. So, what's coming up? This week, I am going to be doing quite a bit of, Okay, so I've decided, in order to help myself keep fit, that, I am going to actually do Ring Fit not as an endurance thing or anything, just as a routine thing. So I'm going to start doing Ring Fit starting tomorrow. And I'm gonna stream the first bits of me doing Ring Fit until I finish, from start to finish. So I'm gonna do start to finish Ring Fit, as a series. And I'll also be collabing on Thursday with, Cup. I'm sure some of you guys already know who Cup is. Another Australian VTuber who's, also a big fan of Crash Bandicoot. We don't watch too much Catacross. And yeah, we'll be playing Crash Nitro Fueled together, so watch out for that. It's been a while since either of us have played it, actually. I tried it again recently. There's a bunch of new stuff that was never in the game before, and I'm just like, what the hell is a golden wampa fruit? What the heck is that? Wait, since when did story mode give you coins? But anyways, that's been a bit fun, I guess. yeah, so that'll be that. On this Thursday, we might also be continuing Escape the Backrooms with Sora and Aaron. Not sure if I'll be streaming my side yet. Don't know yet. We're pretty much basically finished already, so it won't be that long of a stream anymore. Saturday we might, maybe, big maybe on that. We might be doing something else with somebody else. I'll have to confirm with them, make sure that they're actually free on the day. But at one point, we will be doing Shell Shock with Molten and a bunch of other guys if we can get them to join us. Yeah, so that'll be fun. And the week after that, in terms of collabs, I believe we're planning Lethal Company with a bunch of other VTubers. Silly, Neffy, and Celeste are a few of them. We might be trying to do Lethal Company with Sora as well, and Cecily as well, because we did say that we were going to do that. What else are we? I feel like I'm forgetting something. Right, so, how I intend to tackle things from here? I might not do a schedule anymore. Or specifically, I might do a schedule, but it won't be specifically timed. I might make it so that I will only say when I'm going to stream on what day. And aside from the collabs, I won't have any times posted, so that I can just hop on and do the thing whenever I want to do the thing. That way I can still have a schedule and stick to it, but I don't have to, you know, I don't have to stick to a specific time anymore. Open range sounds fun, yes. I know that some of you guys will probably not be able to make it. In fact, when I first originally moved my times because of work, a lot of people were no longer able to make a lot of my streams, which is unfortunate, and I apologize, but yeah, I'm trying to make it work here. I'm sorry. I wish I could make it work somehow, some way else, but unfortunately, my job has taken me to where we are now. Maybe one day, like if I end up not passing the probation on this job, or if I end up getting offered a better position somewhere, or deciding to just leave this job, I might be able to go back to my old streaming schedule and make it so that most of my regular viewers are able to come again. But apart from that, yeah, that's pretty much all I can really do at this point is, you know, make it an open range, make it so some people can make certain times and others can make other times. And hope for the best, you know? Fortunately, adult life? I hate adult life. That's pretty much all I can say. Also, I've been working on a couple of different songs. You'll be able to listen to some of them soon. Promise you that much at least. And yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the stream. I won't post any stream schedules until next week, but for now, I bid you all adieu. Thank you everybody so much for joining. Like I say at the end of every stream, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Sweet nightmares. Bye!